Hello everyone, welcome back to the Business Finance Matters podcast. This is our little filler. Hello Trev.
Hello my friend, how are we doing?
All good. So we put the big one out as in the introduction not that long ago, and the feedback has been good and in parts been humorous, especially on company cars. But Trev, let's make this point clear. The reason that we're doing this, the cause is, as we all know, and if we don't know, we'll repeat it again. This podcast is all about trying to lift the signposting for the intermediary marketplace, something that you and I are very passionate about. And
Indeed.
ultimately making sure that we can help business owners get access
Indeed.
to the best fit finance. And
Indeed.
how are they going to do that, Trev?
Dave, through the UK-wide intermediary marketplace.
Exactly.
So, old Foxy, the Silver Fox, tells us his first company car was a Ford Escort, and he finished up with a Mercedes E-Class, so good for him. We've also had a couple of others, Mr. Michael Favell from Hampshire.
Favelli.
He feeds back to us. Nice comment. I enjoyed that, chaps. Can't wait for you both to get down to the nitty-gritty in subsequent episodes. I know Mike a little, though. I know a bit about his company history. Would you believe? I think he'll go weak at the knees when I mention this. He had an Opel Manta GTE finished in pearlescent white. Racy little sexy two-door coupe. Pretty nippy.
I know we're of a certain age, and I know some of the people that listen to this probably haven't got a clue what we're talking about if they've not fallen asleep already. But
there you go.
I've had Ford Sierras 1.6L estates.
Oh, yeah.
Saab 900s.
Oh, yeah.
Another Mercedes 190E. VW Golf. BMW 318i. Someone else had a Volvo 240.
Oh, Dave, I'm boring.
Toyota Corolla.
Oh, hold on a minute.
A Fiat Strada. What the headlines, Trev? This is what the filler's all about.
Right, listen, this is a big one. Government research recently. Listen to this, mate. Listen to this. Has found that 700,000 small businesses cite access to finance, or clearly the lack of, as a major barrier to growth. Wow. 700,000. Now, they're saying that's 15% of all small businesses. So what's that telling you? Don't need a calculator. That's just under 4.75 million small businesses out there. 15%.
You know what, Trev? I know there's a problem out there. We know that a lot of small businesses are struggling at the moment. We've mentioned before, is it primarily because they aren't able to get access to the right type of finance? And I said, I think in the last podcast, typically that's one of the key reasons, saying it's the only reason. But 700,000, and I'd like to get behind that data. And the reason I say that is you and I have spoken many times before about how many businesses are going online to access their finance. And therefore, how many of those businesses that are going online to access their finance are getting a computer that says no?
Not good, mate.
If we could find out how that data is defined, and I think that again underlines the reason why we're both here making this podcast, is we could put our hands on our hearts and we can say if a business owner knows where to turn to get some guidance about how to access finance, I bet that figure will be a lot lower. And we've talked, I think, before, certainly if not on the pod, off the pod, about the insolvency world. Their work levels continue to drive upwards.
Always an indicator.
I mean, we don't hear about this in the media, do we, Trev? We don't hear about these 700,000 or whatever it is, small businesses that are struggling at the moment. The insolvency guys that I know are saying it's a combination of the lingering COVID-19 fatigue.
Yeah.
There is some owner fatigue in there, which is quite understandable. And, of course, there are some big names going bust, some big contractors, which are affecting the construction industry. It's a knock-on effect, isn't it?
It's a complex world, mate, and we're all interlinked. It's all interlinked. Supply chains, big boys struggle, the guys below, and the SMEs. You've got to say, what sort of chance have they got sometimes? But listen, we're going to do our best. We're going to do our best to do our job.
I like the word. I use it a lot. Best fit. I can't think of a better two words to explain what we're trying to do here. When we say best fit, Trev, I'll repeat it time and time again. It's not always going to be or necessarily going to be the cheapest type of finance, but it's going to be the type of finance that we as professionals believe is the best fit for that business.
But anyway, moving on, I'll tell you what, we've gone international. We are obviously focused on the UK market, but would you believe we've had downloads from the US across the pond? We have one from Egypt.
Well, listen. I'm sorry to butt in there, but this world we are going into now, the podcast world, still all new to us. We don't really know what we're doing, but we're doing our best. And the statistics now that we're able to get feedback on is interesting. I mean, Egypt, Trev, what's going on in Egypt?
Camels. Hey,
anything else?
You can finance cows these days. You can raise finance on cows.
Here we go. Anybody out there looking for a new market, asset finance on camels.
Get into camels. Tell you what, though, serial numbers are going to be a bit of a problem. So if you've got a big herd of camels, but you've got to try and sort of spread your risks, who's going to say, well, that's my camel? No, it's not. Oh, that's my
I've got the answer.
Carnage.
I've got the answer. I've got it in my shed.
Have you? What's
you
that?
brand them. You brand them with a big hot iron. Big hot iron.
I thought you were a decent parent. I didn't know that's what your children had to experience.
All
but anyway,
for the love
listen, seriously, we've had feedback and words with us on this, folks. This is serious. We've had words from legal counsel.
Oh, yeah. What have I done wrong now?
Well, I was worried when I first saw it, but no, listen, it's all good. We've got a very, very good qualified lawyer, specialist in our industry, heard the first podcast, wants to come on. Not sure about the subject he wants to talk about, though. He wants to talk about the F word. No.
Steady.
No. Calm.
We've got children listening.
Calm, folks. Fraud.
Oh.
It's a big one. It's massive.
I thought you were going to say factoring. So, Trev, we have been contacted by a marketing company as well. They really like what we're doing.
Super.
And they have offered us help. They want to get behind what we're doing. So that's really what we're asking for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whether it's the legal side, whether it's the marketing side. We've got an accountant coming on the show, I think, later on in the series. And next month, we're going to have a business owner.
That's where we start. That's
where
important.
we start. It's important that we get their view on how they access the finance and how that finance has helped them. But as you were alluding to a minute ago, there are many sides to this marketplace. And hopefully with the feedback we get, we can find the right people to come on and talk.
You love the word best fit. I like the word disconnect, and there is a disconnect. Look, there are willing lenders out there. Now, we all know the big banks. We're all aware of the big banks, but there is an absolute raft of other lenders out there in the business world that, unless you were working in the market, you would know nothing about. But there is this disconnect, and this is what the business finance intermediary does. They use their skills, their knowledge, their experience to listen to what the business owner's challenges are, what the business needs, goes away, and I know this is unusual these days, thinks about that, actually just takes time to think, comes back, makes recommendations, and then if all goes well, that business owner is got what is, at your word, the best fit for what their situation is at that time. Dave, your big turn-offs in this industry is business leaders and even individuals getting bombarded with, here you go, have £500,000 in 15 seconds. Just give us your name and number and it's all done.
Don't get me started, Trev. It's upset me for many reasons. A, that it's allowed to go on. B, that there seems to be no regulation around what lenders can say and how they say it. Talking of lenders, Trev.
Oh, yeah. I know this is coming.
It is something that we want to be keeping our ears to the ground on because it's important.
Well, I don't know about the ground. My ears are pricked, folks. Pricked is the word that we like and we're using often.
Would you call me?
Thank you.
Anyway, iWalker. They have just launched a unsecured loan product over a 60-month term. Yeah. And the reason that I am wanting to talk about this is because I have often wondered why other lenders haven't come to market to offer this kind of facility. Funding Circle, I would say, have monopolized this 60-month unsecured loan offering. And I did hope that one day someone would come out and offer a similar option, which we do have here. Now, Just looking at the IWOCA details, it is saying it will go up to 60 months. The loan amounts, which surprised me even more, were from 1,000 to, wait for it, Trev, 500,000.
Wow, that's significant. That
is significant.
I mean, as we know, lenders in all markets, mortgages, invoice discounting, asset finance, loans, or whatever, they're all trying to steal a little edge, aren't they? They're all trying to steal a little bit of the market. Is it? I mean, in your opinion, is it going to survive that? Is it going to work?
I don't know. I mean, all I'm trying to say is that any lender that comes out and says this is what we're offering, what they say they're offering and what they actually end up offering are two things, as we know. For example, the interest rate that's being given here is from 1.5% per month. So let's assume, therefore, that the best offering we're going to get for this product from IWOCA is 18% per annum. I'll be interested to know what that spread is from and to. The fees are common with these types of products, and the reason that there are fees, and in this case, the fees are being charged to the customer, but there is benefit of knowing that at any time they can overpay or even settle early, which I like. I like that. It gives flexibility.
You see, folks, this is what you're getting with your independent intermediary. They've got their fingers on the pulse. Fingers on the pulse. How on earth is an SME business owner going to A, do that, and B, be even inclined to be interested?
Yeah, I think if we all got in a room and discussed the business finance marketplace, despite how many years of experience we've got, we'd all be sitting there going, I'm not 100% sure what this lender's doing. I'm not 100% sure what the other lenders are doing, but we do our best. But as you said, Trev, can you imagine the business owner scratching his head or her head thinking, well, what do I need? How do I get it? And who's going to provide that particular facility for me?
And you know, what we also know, Dave, that I'm going to say it, a lot of business owners are often reticent to step up, to speak out, to say, I need some help. And in this increasing digital age, there's this propensity, we'll Google everything. We'll Google this, we'll Google that, we'll Google whatever. And you and I see it, but we're not going to go back there again. We've already mentioned that. But anyway, if you've got anything you want to ask us about, we will be going into a lot more detail in the not too distant future about how to get hold of your professional, your business finance professional, your intermediary, whether that's by a market specialization, if you are in a particular vertical market or a particular product that you're thinking of, or whether it's geography. But I think it's true to say that most of the boys and girls that we know in our network are very prepared to do something old-fashioned but very necessary. Get in their cars and come and see you. Come and see the business operate. Now, ain't that refreshing? You know?
Indeed. That's what we want. That's what we're going to aim for. We'll keep doing it as long as we can, as long as we've got people who will be willing enough to support us and give us feedback and subscribe, add comments.
Subscribe's the big one, mate. Subscribe's the big one. Who knows where we go with this, but hopefully we're entertaining, but we're carrying a serious message.
Okay, let's wrap it up. That's the end of our little filler. Hope everyone enjoyed listening to this episode. Thanks again, and it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from him.
Enjoy your week, and look forward to having you on board for the next episode. Cheers, Trev.
Cheerio, folks. Cheers, Dave.
Thank you again for listening to BFM. This episode was sponsored by Number 8 Business Finance. Number 8 are an independent firm that offers an advisory-led service to those business owners that are seeking guidance or wanting access to a wide range of business finance products. If you are interested in sponsoring future episodes, or if you'd like to add your comments to this podcast, then you can contact us via Instagram and Twitter. Just search for Business Finance Matters. We hope you enjoyed this episode. All feedback is welcome. Please subscribe, because this will help the cause. It will help us get the signposting and the voice that we need for our industry, and of course for the SMEs alike. Thank you again for listening, and look forward to having you back for future episodes.